Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sim Racing in Focus podcast. Tonight is episode number 24 of Sim Racing in Focus podcast. We are, of course, a podcast about sim racing, but in particular, the Australian iRacing scene. As always, I'm your host, Dean Reddit, and I'm joined tonight once again by my co-host, Jacob Packets Hughes. Packets, how are you this evening?
I'm horrible, mate. How are you?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, always a pleasure to hear from you.
It's good to be back. It's been about 6 months, I think.
Yeah. Well, you did say on the last one we'll be at least a month before we got another one back out, but
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Then the breaks. It's been a busy month. Of course, we're also joined tonight by Hamish Munro from Infinity Broadcasting and many other aspects of the Australian iRacing scene. So, Hamish, welcome to the show, and thank you in advance for coming on.
No worries. Thanks so much for having me. It's absolute pleasure. So, yeah, glad to be here.
Well, we can't wait to get into the conversation tonight. I got trounced last time for having a "This Is Your Life" introduction for Corey, so I sort of kept your one brief. But I'm sure it's.
I was half worried. I'm like, oh, how deep is he going into the rabbit hole here? There are some catacombs in there. I'd rather keep the door locked to. But
I think we'll be able to get you to talk about some of your ventures a lot more. And I knew Corey would be very reserved, but I'm sure you've got a lot to cover in tonight's episode. It has been a while, so we've got a lot on. And basically a snapshot for tonight. We've got our new iRacing build to talk about. We've got a bit about Hamish's involvement with Infinity Broadcasting, how he's created that, I guess, and some of the leagues that he's covering with that. And we'll talk a little bit about the V8 veterans and, of course, the main one being the iRacing World Challenge VRS Porsche Cup series, which has just wrapped up. Would be the second season, Hamish?
Yeah, we just wrapped up our second season, so bigger than the first, which was good. So hopefully we can match it for the next season.
We certainly enjoyed that, and then we're going to look forward to season 3 of that as well. So there's been plenty of other racing going on. I think we don't have a whole lot of the results, but the vets have just concluded a season. We've got our Logitech V8 Pro Invitationals about 8 or 9 rounds into their season. Packet's a personal favourite of yours, Premier Endurance League, has wrapped up and is just kicking off their start of their next GT.
On right now, actually.
Yeah, it's on this evening. So we might get around to talking a bit about that, maybe talking a bit about past champions that have just been from the series that have just concluded. So lots to talk about tonight. So looking forward to it, gents. But I think first and foremost, we've got to get into the new iRacing Season 4 build for 2025. 2025, aren't we? Yeah. Quick summary. Basically, some key notes that I've taken away from the, what are they calling it now, the development blog, is we're getting the Aston Martin GT3. Something I cannot wait for, but kind of a little bit bummed because I'm not really racing GT3 at the moment. We're also getting the Dallara IL15, GT4 Mustang, BMW M4 GT3 Evo. That's a summary of the cars. Jens, I'm going to throw it over to you now. Which one of these are you most looking forward to?
I mean, the Vantage is fun. It's fun, but that Mustang GT4, that's something pretty special because not only is it obviously building up our GT4 class, it also means there'll be an official series run of the Dark Horse Challenge with that car as well in Class D next season. So it's only bolstering the officials and bolstering the opportunities for people to run leagues around one make series or GT4s as well. So I think it's good.
I didn't realise they were going to make that the Dark Horse series.
Yep. I believe they're running it similarly to what they did with the Ferrari Challenge prior to obviously the actual 296 Challenge car coming out, where they're going to have that in place of the Dark Horse car until its release.
That's got to get you excited, Packets. You were looking forward to a Dark Horse, but this is the next best thing.
Yeah, I'll take it, but I'm pretty keen for the Mustang just because I like the Mustang. But I don't know, the Aston, we've been waiting for the Aston for how many years now? And it's like, now that it's here and we're not really racing GT3, it's kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about it, but I don't know. Maybe, like I said, like what we said the other day, maybe when we see the video of the in-car footage, maybe we'll change then. But the biggest thing for me, and this is very skeptical, and it's probably, it's a bit of a reach, but so the BMW GT3 Evo, it's going to be free. It's just going to replace the current one. So apparently everyone's getting a free update with it. Is it going to sound better? That's what I want to know. Is it going to sound any different, or is it still going to be dead? Like, that's what I'll... Is it... Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Hamish? You reckon it's going to improve sound model on that?
Well, the Bavarian Motorworks blender does need a bit of an update on its
the Euro Camry.
Yeah. We know it as affectionately know it as the Euro Camry in our team. And when you watch the the Fanatec World Challenge or whatever, it doesn't sound bad at all. So
no.
That sounds good, eh?
Yeah.
I would say, based on how well they scanned the sound of the supercars, I'd have high expectations of that BMW to get scanned properly. Because those supercars sound immense. They really do. Yeah. So I would say it is going to sound better than the old M4 NutriBullet that runs around right now. So.
I've noticed about the last sort of 2 years, their sound quality of cars, especially V8s, has gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, it really has.
There was a lot to be lacking there for a long time.
Yeah. Especially when you compare the old supercar to the current one, and how different it actually sounds. It's chalk and cheese.
Yeah. I love how there's all these household appliances coming out for cars. We've got the BMW NutriBullet, and we refer to the Corvette GT3 as the orbital sander.
Oh, yeah.
The Mission R is the Samsung microwave, of course.
Oh, God.
Radiating energy off of it.
Oh, dear. Well... you raise a good point with the Evo packets. My main concern is, does the PSD file change?
Well, the front end is very different.
Yeah, the front end doesn't have as many air intakes on it as the new one, or the old one. So I would say it does.
These Evo GT3 cars are killing me. I wouldn't mind getting the Aston painted, but these Evos, they're like, what have we had? 3 consecutive Porsche Cup cars or whatever, and not Cup cars, sorry, the GT3, and you're having to pay
Ferrari.
the PSD or the Ferrari. That's right, the PSD changes every time, and
the Ferrari we got lucky with, because the Ferrari 488 Evo, it fit, but I just had to adjust a couple little things, but it basically was near the same. We got really lucky with that one.
Yeah. It was the Audi that we had no luck with whatsoever, and the Mercedes Evo as well. Yes. Absolutely brand new PSDs, almost completely. I wouldn't say opposite, because you could just flip the paint, but it was rearranged. Yeah. So
iRacing keeps doing this weird thing with the PSDs where they keep putting the bumpers in a different spot, and that's where it completely just gets blown out.
Yeah, we've got a tight. I wouldn't say tough. Tough's not the right word, but a tight arrangement with our painter, so we try not and cross the lines too much in terms of adapting paints to PSDs.
I am my team's painter, so it's fine. I don't have to worry about pissing him off because it's me. So it's fine.
But you would get equally as frustrated though if there was an Evo update that has a couple of little fins on it, then you got to go and repaint the whole thing again.
I would. Luckily, though, I've really only had to paint the supercars, so it's not been so bad. The most out there of it that I've gotten to is the Porsche GTP car, which actually, when I learned how it's all layered, it was actually quite simple. So, but yeah, stop adding aero pieces that need to be painted. iRacing, just put carbon on it.
Yeah.
Crying out, makes it easier.
Absolutely. Geez, those hypercars, they look difficult to paint.
The Porsche's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's weird to get your head around it and how it all kind of goes together. But yeah, it's not too horrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm ready for the Aston Martin GT3 to be a big car. I want that sound right though. That's going to be everything. If the sound's not right, then I probably won't pick it up at all. So I think it was a video going around of the Verstappen.com real life Aston Martin at over at Monza, and it sounded epic. So they've got to get it close. They've just got to get it close.
Hopefully they do. I think it's unfortunately GT class, like as good as it is to have so many different cars now, like whenever there's a new car, it just becomes the Acura Cup or what'll be the Vantage Cup. Like they buff it so hard to get you to buy the new GT car that the majority of the top teams are just running that car, and then there's no variety. So but I think whether they can get the balance of performance correct, so it doesn't matter which car you drive, you are, in a top level car, then that's the only way we're really going to have it, where it's based on more personal preference than on the actual quality of the car and what is the meta of the car as well. But no, I mean, I'm excited for the Vantage. We were still waiting on the Lexus. That was scanned however long ago. Where the hell's the Lexus now? And
that's a good point.
Hopefully we get that at some point. Yeah, see? It's gone in the back of everyone's minds. It's like it gets scanned. It's like, oh, now it's gone. Where is it? Oh, we haven't done it yet. So
the funny thing about the Aston coming out is they haven't actually increased their capabilities of how many cars they can put on a circuit. So in the IMSA series, they are dropping the Audi. So the Audi won't be running in the multi-class series anymore, only in the GT series.
Yeah, that was my chief concern because, up until this point when I was racing, the Audi was probably, my favorite GT3 car to run. But I refused to get the Evo painted because I knew the car in and of itself was going to stop in real world from running in GT3. So I knew it would only be a matter of time before it followed suit in iRacing. So didn't want to outlay the money for a paint for it to only be around for 12 months. So that's a shame. I love that car.
Yeah.
It's a real shame. I think they want to try and keep it realistic, I guess. I suppose at least the actual GT series will still have it for the fixed officials, and then like the Bathurst 12 era and stuff like that. Sebring 1000 as well. Like, so they should still have it because it's still within the allotted car or different car types. But it's kind of a sad day when they're getting rid of cars that are not technically legacy cars, but they're bringing a new car. It's like just add another car type. Like, it's how much worse could it be? Console games can do this. You should be able to do it easily on a PC.
Have you got any comments packets regarding the how they essentially overpower the new release cars for GT?
I don't know, because ever since the new time model came out, it's kind of been odd. Like right now, it seems like the Mustang that was an absolute piece of shit on release is now quick as hell. It's like it seems to be pretty consistently dominant. Like I just chimed in before in Premier Endurance League, it looks like the Mustang Challenge in there. It's like every row was a Mustang up until the top 10. Like it's
really
So
So that one-sided.
And there's a heap of Lambos in there too. So Lambo's back again, I'd say, which kind of surprised me. So
we're Lambo bias here, so we can accept that. But
so I'm kind of keen to see how the Aston is on release with the new tyre model, and just see how that trend in the past goes with the new tyre model. Maybe it's not going to be a thing anymore. Like it probably will be, to be honest. But yeah, it'd be cool if it's not a thing. But one thing that is cool starting next season is that, in the Formula Series, how you got the F4 regional races, so you got the Asia Pacific, United States Series, and the European Series, and that's so you can go to all the different tracks and whatnot. So the GT series is doing that next season, where there's going to be regional races for them as well. So I think that it's going to be a fixed series. So your GT3 fixed, you'll have an Asia Pacific series, American series, European series. They reckon that the numbers with it now, they're just going to sort of follow suit with the same thing they're doing with the F4 series.
That I love the way that F4 series is set up.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, you get a bit of track variety, and there's always a track there where, especially with the way I race my open wheel, is it's usually just turn up and race. So between the three, you usually get one venue that you know reasonably well, and you're reasonably comfortable with just to jump straight into a race session, which is a lot of hesitation for people around when they're doing their official series. What about yourself, Hamish? Do you get in and do officials much, or you got no time for that anymore?
I do, reasonably speaking, 2 official events a year. I do the Raw before the 24, and I do the Watkins Glen 6 hour. The last 2 years, they're the only 2 events I've done, both years. Last year, I did the Raw, crashed out in the lead from a GT4 pack of cars because I wasn't patient enough on the infield. Learned from that. This year I won in the LMP3. So,
nice.
Went from crashing out and ruining my own race to being patient, and I won by a whole lap against the entire field. No one finished on my lap when I finished the race. So it was good. And then, the 6 hours more or less, like it's pretty much just me and my mates. We just try and fill a car with like 6 of us, and we all do a stint each and see where we end up. And I think...
I like those ones.
It's good. It's a good time. Last year, I think we started last, we finished 5th. And then this year we caught trouble. I think we finished like 10th or something. So it wasn't so bad. But like my rig's not even put together. I have to go steal my dad's for a day to go and race if I really want to. But like when I was doing officials a lot, which was when I actually had time to do them. I was like, I loved doing the 296 challenge. Long Beach week was my jam for the Ferrari challenge in Class D. So that was a great time. Did some supercars officials. Actually, I did the last strength of field last year actually at Most Sport in the Gen 2. But pretty much until once I found leagues, I didn't really touch officials again. I went and did like Ozpass, GT racing, and then did some special events and stuff like that. But no, once I found leagues, and then especially once I started broadcasting, I just stopped racing pretty much full time altogether. They often say if you can't race, teach, and if you can't teach, you commentate. So I've just become a Mark Larkin at this point. So, me and my 900 I rating that was destroyed by people crashing me, and I was like, I'm done with officials. That's enough for me.
900 I rating bandit. I love that.
Yeah. Arguably, my I rating should be a lot better. I caught a lot of bad luck for like a good 2 months, and it dropped my I rating down below the 1,000. I'm just like, no, I can't. I don't want to have to try and build it back up again. It wasn't worth the time, and I didn't have the time to put into it anyway. So it was, just kind of put it on the back burner. But last big push for officials was like Dirt Road. I was getting right into doing like Pro 4s at Dirt Road circuits. It was it was getting to be a good time. So
it's a lonely community over there in terms of updates, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't mind. I'd much rather get road content. I'd much rather get the road content because it means there's more opportunities for me to broadcast. And it's more tracks that I get to broadcast to, which also means there's more tracks I have to buy.
Yeah.
But it's, as someone who owns every road course in iRacing, it's an expensive venture to get there. But once you get there, it's just picking it up every update and you get the new road course. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a big commitment, isn't to broadcast is a huge also financial commitment on that front. And technically you do have it and you can race it, but obviously with your commitments, you're not racing it or using the product as it's sort of sold to be used.
No, that's right. I have been blessed that some places I have broadcasted have funded my tracks that I needed to buy, specifically like tracks that I wouldn't use if I was racing. So there's a short track league that I'm broadcasting at the moment, and the guy who I work with, Jim, he's kind enough to cover my tracks for it because he knows that I wouldn't need them otherwise. So he does me a favor with that, so which is good.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we'll delve more into your broadcasting side of things just shortly, in a minute. But we'll wrap up this iRacing Season 4 build. So we got the Dallara IL15, which is the IndyCar Light.
Yeah.
Not up there in the realms of things that I know much about, but it looks all right on paper.
I think it'd be a fun time. I love the old Indy Light car. It was, it was a fun little car. It was similar to the old F3 or the Formula Renault 2.0. So I don't know how much support it's going to get from Australia. The US might support it a lot more, especially those IndyCar fans. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. If you wanted to present an open wheel series differently, say you're running a league, it's a perfect car for it because it can run on road courses and it looks like an F4 car or a Formula Academy car. Like, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And it's just something different to get involved in.
It needs Scotty McLaughlin to achieve the same level of hysteria as what Shane Van Gisbergen has got.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because that's the only reason why Packett's is into NASCAR these days, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You're just fanboying over there.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm waiting for the day where you swap out the team paint to race his actual, real life paint as well.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I already am.
Yeah. Wouldn't put it past you. You'd be like the typical bloody Marlboro livery driver that logs into an official that just creates absolute pandemonium for everyone else.
Yeah.
That would be you.
Typical Red Bull livery.
Yeah.
He's trying to make business connections with Trackhouse. He wants Riot Trackhouse Sim Sports to become a thing. That's that's the goal.
Oh my god. All right. Well, what about we got one new track in Mexico City, and then we got a rescan of possibly one of the first ever tracks to get on iRacing. That's Alton Park. So poor old Alton Park's had no love for 15 years, but I actually don't mind that track, and a little fresh update might be a good thing.
Oh, well, for the first time in Alton Park's life, it's about to draw more than Spa in the Hungaroring with all those trees surrounding it. So,
yeah,
about to become a FPS nightmare around there. Mexico's going to be great. I think Mexico is fantastic. We knew we were getting it. They hinted last season we were going to get Miami as well this season, but now they've said it's going to be season 1. So that puts me in the belief that season 2 next year is going to be the season for Adelaide. That's my belief now.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, that's what if they're bringing out Mexico now and Miami season 1, I think they're going to come back during the 500, do some more scanning of Adelaide, and they'll prep it for season 2. I think that's what the current goal and the plan is at the moment, because Adelaide's their next major project, aside from a couple other tracks that have already been announced. And Pukekohe as well, which I think they're going to release together.
Pukekohe might come out when when that other GT3 car finally gets remembered as well, the Lexus. Seems to have gone.
Here's the forgotten DLC pack for you right here.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it was just like a mad G-up where everyone was like really upset that the supercars were scrapping Pukekohe, and they're like, oh yeah. And I think there was a petition raised, wasn't there? And by
it was by McLaughlin, I'm pretty sure. I think McLaughlin raised it, didn't he?
Yeah, and iRacing's like, yeah, sure, we'll scan it, and they just never did anything with it.
Yeah, we'll scan your track, Scotty. Keep using iRacing for us.
Yeah. It's just a G up. It's just they've taken the PR hit boost from it, and they're not going to deliver it because that's about 2 years ago.
That's probably why Scotty's helping him with a new IndyCar game that's coming out. He's probably trying to jam up. I'll do this, and if you release Pukekohe.
Yeah. So what about, is there temptation then for these two new tracks, Hamish, in any potential of the leagues coming up next season as well? Do you think they'll make an appearance?
Like for my league or for any leagues out there, do I think?
No, just from yourself as a league organizer.
Now I got to check the actual calendar if Alton Park's on there or not. I know.
I kind of want you just to agree to say, yeah, of course, it's great. And then you don't even
I know Mexico's Alton Park is on there, so we will be running at the new Alton Park. Mexico's not. We are considering extending our Rodnock Cup calendar to 11 rounds and running a playoff series at the end.
Yep.
And Mexico would be one of them in the playoffs, if that were to happen.
Nice.
For Porsches, I don't know if Mexico will work that well because of how long of a straight it's got. It might just be a rerun of Indianapolis, if I'm honest. So we may run it, but not anytime soon. At the very least, right now, we're not planning on. So yeah, I think it's good. It's a great track to have, and more Grand Prix tracks is a good thing because it's more road courses we can go racing on, and you can now put whatever you want on it. That's on iRacing. You're not just limited to an F1 game. So I think that's it's good for everyone.
Yeah. Got any thoughts, Packets, on Mexico City?
Yeah, I was just trying to think then, like when Formula One goes there, is the Porsche Cup Series there as well, the Mobile Series?
I think it is.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Don't trust my words. I just have this funny feeling that I can picture them going through turn 1 and 2 in the S's. I might be wrong. But I can see what Hamish is saying about the long straight. But I think, especially the rest of that first sector, I think would be kind of full-on pack racing through there would be kind of chaos.
So just to confirm for you, the support series that are at the Mexico GP, normally it's the NANCAM Formula 4s, the GTM Super Copper, which I think is like the Brazil or the Mexican touring cars, and then Masters Historic Racing. So I don't think.
Yeah, I think the Mobile Series they keep it in the European rounds.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I know that. I know Montreal gets it. They get the Porsche Cup because they get it for the North American Series, and I think Coda gets it as well. I don't know about the street circuits whether they get it too or not, like Vegas and Miami. But yeah, I know those two get it.
Oh, very well. I stand corrected. Not to worry. But yeah, I see what you're saying there about the Cup car maybe not being the best suited there.
Yeah.
We're also getting a bit of a NASCAR update, so I'm not the greatest to talk about the NASCAR update, but Hamish or Packets as well. Maybe you know a little bit more about this.
I'm just the delegated because I wake up early in the morning on a Sunday to call NASCAR racing. But pretty much there's 5 refreshes and 5 rescans. So the rescans are coming for Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Charlotte Motor Speedway for their partial Roval rescan. So they previously did their oval rescan of the modern version of Charlotte. Now the Roval will be, I believe, being released.
Haven't we previously already got an update for the Roval?
Yeah, but where it comes back onto the oval, it's now a hairpin instead of a double left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
infield is very different now.
Yeah. They changed that infield, and I think they're releasing the infield now, like the new version of it. Because I think the last update was just the oval and the dirt road course, I think.
They had to nerf that sausage curb.
They might have
It
actually.
was the bus stop.
They-
Was it the bus stop where it was just rolling cars left, right, and centre?
I love running AI races there because you'll just see them come into the bus stop and they'll just launch into the wall. They do not take corners well.
Yeah.
But yeah, then North Wilkesboro, Sonoma's getting an update, which is good because Sonoma just looks like a desert and it's needs some greenery.
Will it be
there.
green or a desert?
Well, normally it's green, but they scanned it at the wrong time of the year. They scanned it when all the grass was dead, but it's normally green when they go racing there. So it's, and then
that'd be cool if it is green.
So it's a pseudo road course then as well, isn't it? So I think we might have even briefly talked about that prior packets, but that's
I think
when I was looking because that Sonoma rescans. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of different, not just leagues out there. Officials run it as well, of course, but it'll breathe new life into the track. Like continuously rescanning these tracks will continue to breathe life into them, and it keeps them interesting. I think one of the most annoying things is if you race at the same track, if it's three seasons in a row or 3 times within say 18 months, it gets boring a little bit because it doesn't feel fresh, doesn't feel different. Where when they rescan them, they feel fresh, they feel modernized, which is really good. So I think it's great that they've redone Sonoma. It's actually it's an underrated road course, really, and depending on what cars you take there, it can actually be a lot of fun. By the racing that you get. So I think it's cool. They mentioned Rockingham as well for the rescans, but they have said that they may hold it back until next season. So that's a bit iffy, but the refreshers that they are bringing in, they're refreshing Daytona, Chicago Street Course, Texas Motor Speedway, Watkins Glen, now featuring the new bus stop curbing. So that's going to stop a lot of people from just riding the curb through the bus stop. And then
Coda change everything then.
Yeah, and then Coda with its new NASCAR configuration from this year as well. So there's some, the big ones of that is Daytona, Coda, and Watkins Glen, because that again changes up road racing a bit more. And then Chicago, unless you can avoid the walls, it doesn't matter if they rescan it or not. It's the concrete barrier is still going to be there. So not going to make much difference.
That's a sizable update though for the NASCAR scene for sure.
Oh, it is. It is. Those who like running stock cars are getting, as ever, they're getting the most out of iRacing, more so than anyone. Dirt Oval people are just screaming for the necks of NASCAR fans all worldwide right now. So that's the consensus.
But between them getting the licensing back, as well as the NASCAR esports series, there's so much money driven by NASCAR towards iRacing with all this stuff.
Sure.
Like you can tell too, like since they've come back, like just how much more content and updates they've actually been getting, whereas in the past it's been sort of like nothing.
Well, it's the same now that they've got IndyCar back as well, and obviously they're developing the game. Like they've announced St. Petersburg's getting scanned and done, which I think is great. More street circuits for iRacing, again, is a good thing because you can only rotate the street circuits so much. So the more that we get, the better it is. More variety as well. So I think it's good. And, St. Pete's a great track. If we can get modern Detroit as well, I think that'll be a good thing too. So, I think it's, IMSA may be both loved but hated by sports car fans, but IMSA is also a good thing because iRacing's got a great deal with IMSA and now with IndyCar and NASCAR as well. So we're getting a lot of stuff for ovals and for road course fans as well, which is great.
I tell you what, like, when I first saw that new Detroit track, I was just like, oh, they got to scan that. But I tell you what, that track out of all street circuits I reckon that is worse than Chicago. There's so many spots on that track where it's like only like a car width wide. You can't get 2 cars up a part of the track. Like it's such an awkward track and it's got heaps of hairpins and it's just chaos, I reckon.
I reckon it'd be great fun in like a low-powered car, like an MX-5 or something. It'd be great fun if you just send it up the inside. It'd be interesting how they do the pit lane because they have like the double pit lane there where it's either side of the main straight. So it would be, but I mean, that's the original US Grand Prix circuit is that Detroit street circuit. They just refurbished it for the modern road. I think, it'd be great for iRacing. might take people off the back of Chicago. They might actually, you know what, Chicago's not that bad. Detroit's leave that alone, please. So
yeah.
I have to admit I've got no idea about that track, but that split pit lane sounds amazing.
just watch either the IMSA Detroit Grand Prix from this year or the IndyCar race there. They had one a couple of years ago. I think Will Power just pushed another competitor around the whole track. He was just tucked up right behind the rear wing.
I can't remember if it was this year or last year, but it was at the hairpin there where there was a BMW that literally spun over the top of a roof of another car.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I think it might have been
Detroit.
It might have been last year. I think it might have been over one of the GTP cars. I think they came up the inside and he just went straight up and over the roof of it.
The car sits straight on top of the other one.
That's amazing.
It's wild. It's a wild track.
Wow. All right. Well, let's wrap up the season 4 build chat then with a little bit of a chat about the new improved UI. So this is Packets. You might want to take this one, but is this referring to the in-game UI stitched up?
This is.
Yeah, bro, you were careful.
I don't know what everyone else's opinion on this, but this has taken so long, and it just looks like garbage. It's like this ain't going to stop people from using race labs or anything else. Like I look at the screenshots that they've put out, and I just go, "Oh, that looks confusing. That's going to take some time to get used to." But like overall, the look of it, like if they come out and they've got details of iRating and stuff like that on it, like cool. But yeah, the overall look just looks confusing. The biggest thing I'm worried about is the camera editing for getting photos. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Everything else is just going to be a learning curve to get used to it because everything's going to look different and be in a different spot. But yeah, the whole camera editing, that's the one part I'm actually worried about.
So it's, I guess to elaborate, it's just really the timing tower, the black boxes, they're all just getting a graphical update, aren't they? And, you see, Hamish could attest to this, broadcasters change their graphics season to season. And it seems like we're just getting a little palette cleanse for the first time in a decade.
I mean, once my graphics... it's funny you say that we change our graphics all the time. As someone who has gone through the issues of having my graphics settings absolutely cooked and ruining a broadcast, once I found how I needed to set them up and have them set up so they were pretty much perfect, like outside of my control of things happening, I have not touched them. I've just left them alone. Yeah. Now, unless I go somewhere like, Spa, Hungaroring, now Alton Park, Okayama, for example, then I'll turn the foliage down a bit because those trees draw so much. Like they draw so much. And even worse if it's raining because the particles from the rain, it's ridiculous how much that actually now graphically pulls. And like my computers, it's not spec'd too badly. Like it's not on the high end, but it's like, I've got like a 3080 and 64 gigs of RAM and stuff like that. So it's not terrible, but just, I can't run it on high settings, without breaking the bank pretty much. Cause it's just, graphically, I mean, it looks amazing and you can get it looking fairly good, but, I think once you've got it set, you've kind of just got to leave it. You can't touch it. As soon as you muck around with anything, it ruins the whole thing and throws the balance out. And then it's just it's kaput. It's ruined.
So, I find that I get mine set up really well, and then we get an update, and then I'm forced to change my settings.
Yeah. I know. I know. Like a lot of my team members, like the update will come out. And like all the drivers who use triples, they're just like, I've got to change my graphics settings. They've ruined it. They've somehow stuffed up the graphic settings for triples, and now I've got to readjust it. I'm like, well, have fun with that. I'm going to sit here on my single screen and watch you race. So
yeah, try to race. Yeah, I had triples and I went back to the ultra wide. I'll be the first to admit, from a racing point of view, it's in my opinion not it's a step backwards. But for simplicity and just trying that the settings thing was just getting way too frustrating for me. And then I can imagine it's even worse for VR users. But the constant changing of the triples settings and readjusting, and then trying to step out of iRacing into something else, it was just you were wasting way too much time in the changes of the settings. So that's why I went back. But yeah, I can certainly relate to that.
I think if you're a casual driver, so if you're, say, someone who's, let's say like a pro-am level, right? You just want to show up on race day, have some fun, but you got some relative good pace. There's nothing wrong with running an ultra wide. Nothing wrong with that at all. I think, as someone who has driven on triples and then as well a single screen, like it's just, and you'd probably agree, Dean, like triples, you can see so much more. It is so much better with what you can see on triples, and it, like, I personally feel I drive faster with triples than when I did on a single screen. But I think it's, unless you want to spend the money to upgrade it to that and put the time in, and you want to take your sim racing seriously, you just get an ultra wide. Like, it's all you need. As long as you can see your mirrors, that's all you got to worry about. So
yeah, I'm pretty much there as well.
Yeah.
It definitely made a lot of difference with one of the things that I'm struggling with at the moment, especially in the Porsche Cup car, is I just get absolutely dominated on a race start. And a lot of it's to do because I lose the cars when we're trying to go 2 or 3 wide.
Yeah.
It's not so much that I can't see the apex, it's that I can't see exactly how far apart we are, and you sort of just, your natural reactions just to lift or pull out, and it's costed me in that regard. So I think just on, like, if put me on track for a lap with no cars, could probably get near enough to the same lap time, but all these other things add up, right, about how confident you can be with putting the car in certain spots. So that's where I miss it. And you're the opposite packets. You always look to make up positions on the race start.
Yeah, I'm a prick like that.
You're the ultimate iRacing burglar.
I think that's funny. Like I remember when I tested GT3s when they first came out with the new time model, and I remember I sucked because I was always a bit of a nutter for doing those first lap dashes, trying to make up as many spots as I could to just make up for that shitty qualifying that I'd done. But the new time model, it was hard to do that now, and you usually get to pin it. The Porsche Cup, I can still sort of do that, which is good.
Always timing the green, weren't you? The green on the, especially in the official starts, on the rolling starts, you were just, if you knew he was within 2 rows back, you're like, it's coming. There's going to be a nose up. And we might get into this a little bit later on when we start talking a bit about VRS, but in our team traditionally there's no such thing. We're more savage on each other than we are on the competitors. So you soon learn who your bloody own worst enemies are, I think.
That's always your best friends. Your best friends are your worst enemies. They're the ones that do not care about taking you out. They do not care. In fact, they target you. I have learned that the hard way. They will target you.
Well, I think I'm seen as a bit of a bumper. Maybe they don't want to turn. Maybe Packets doesn't want to turn me, but I'm sure he'd be happy to use me from stopping himself running off track. Oh, very good. All right. Well, look, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming. Naturally, we're all going to be poor in the next couple of weeks if we all go ahead and buy all these things. But look, a big update, I think, coming for season 4. So be lots of new goodies to look forward to. But let's get out of the season build now and let's get into more about why Hamish is here. So, mate, look, this second half of the podcast is really going to be trying to delve into what you're about, what you're up to, and some exciting things coming on the horizon. But let's just kick off with I guess your backstory with sim racing and where you got involved with iRacing in particular, and then what led you into starting Infinity Broadcasting.
Well, it's relatively speaking, it's been 4 years now that I've been on iRacing itself. Quite a few of me mates that I raced with on Forza in my formative years of being an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old, and finding people in random Forza leagues to race with. Yes, they become your friends for a while, and it's like a bad smell, you can't get rid of them. So they convinced me with my tax return of 2021 to buy a PC, which I did, and then
good choice.
Yep, and then got into iRacing as well, and worked my way up through the licenses. Went through obviously MX5s, and then up through Ferrari Challenge and into the supercars and GTs and stuff like that. And then it was pretty much just got into league racing eventually, doing Ozpass GTs. Eventually it petered out a little bit, so then I was more or less trying to find something to do for a little while. I had gotten out of a relationship at the end of 2022, so I was more or less out there off iRacing for a bit, going to find myself, and then came back around about the start of the year, got back on iRacing, and found out that a certain incredibly small league, like just no one's probably ever heard of it, V8 Veterans, was looking for a broadcaster for Split 2. They wanted a broadcaster for Split 2, and I was about as green as grass coming in to do it. The only experience I'd ever had, even in any realm, was I had done community radio here in Victoria in my teens.
Oh, wow.
But to that point, it had been about 10 years since I'd done that. And I'd been streaming like other stuff on Twitch prior to then as well. But, going from that to trying to call racing is not necessarily bread and butter, but definitely something I wanted to get into and wanted to get comfortable with. So I got the opportunity to start doing Split 2 for Vets in their 14th season, which was back in when the season 2 started. It's like March, I think, of 2023 was roughly when I started, maybe a bit earlier. So I started doing that. Initially started doing it with their previous admin, Cam Vcock, as my co-commentator. Went through a couple other people early on to figure out if they'd find one. They didn't like we didn't really quite find someone that fit. So then it was just me, pretty much stuck on there, doing it on my own. So I worked through season 14, saw an ad-on Seg. Actually, no, it was earlier than March. And I can tell you how I know that in a second. It would have been in January. Because I'd found an ad on Seek for a league looking for a broadcaster. And I wanted to obviously expand my horizons. So I applied. And then the day of Knotfest in Melbourne in 2023, I got a call from Dean Sinkovich from SRW wanting to have a chat to me to become one of their broadcasters. I'm like, can I ring you back? I'm currently in the pit for... I can't remember who was playing. I can't remember who was playing at the time. I was in the pit, and I'm like, can I call you back, please?
Sounds like a great place to get a pseudo job interview call.
Fantastic. It was a great time. And I'm like, oh, can I call you Monday? He's like, yeah, that's fine. So I called him back. We had a chat, and I had a chat to Stephen, and then, got into doing SRW as well. Started on at the time was the Toyo Sim TCRs and the Shannon's F3s when they ran the double heat of double series night on the Wednesdays. So was doing Vets at the time, started doing that. And then just kind of, chipped away doing it, started doing their GT3 league on a Friday as well, which then turned into an IMSA league. And when that petered out, we were leading into the start of 2024, and I wasn't supposed to do it. The guy who was supposed to do supercars unfortunately had to step away for them, and I said, look, I'll do supercars for you, because Shibby had to step away from SRW for a period, who was their main guy at the time when I started. So for their first season of 2024, I took over doing the Supercars broadcast on the Tuesday and the Sunday, while still doing what was becoming the Super Formulas on the Wednesday. And then, so just went through that process, went through all of 2025, all of 2024, doing those 3 series on the Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Started working with James Parfitt as well, who was doing the Thursday GR86s towards the end of the year, doing some leagues for him. Had the opportunity to commentate on the 23-hour race for mental health for Jimmy Broadbent through James as well, which was a great time and a massive privilege to be a part of.
Wow, that's cool.
In that day. In fact, I've actually got, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, I've actually got No Punterino Jimmer tattooed on my arm because I bet them they wouldn't make 30K by the time I got in the booth. And I got in the booth and they'd raise 50. So I got to get the tattoo now. So,
oh, wow.
So I got to do that. Did the SRW CNF 500 as well, which was cool. That was like, and like through all this as well, like doing minor things like a league called Simsa had started up in like 2023, and then that fizzled out a little bit. And then, so all throughout sort of the last half of 2024 was when myself and Jack Anderson decided to, one of those bad smells from Forza that I couldn't get rid of. We decided we wanted to start a league on iRacing as well, because we wanted to do some Legends racing on road courses. And broadcast it, kind of like a pseudo Aussie racing car series. So, so we started up IRWC and ran our first season of that. Then we ran a second season. And then we moved on to doing GT4s, and then IRWC kind of went away for a little while. Towards the end of 2024, I'd come off a massive year with SRW as well, and I was kind of thinking at the time, I'm like, I kind of want to go see what else is out there for me and find some other experiences and find some new places that I can commentate as well. So then I came into the start of 2025, built up the amount of days I was doing for James, and because I was doing mornings for him, and then I was doing the evenings for myself and for SRW as well. And so at the start of the year, I said, look, I'm looking to step away eventually. Can we pull this back? So I'm just doing supercars for right now. But this was in season 1, season 2 of iRacing of this year. And he said, yeah, that's fine. Well, you can step back. And then as we got towards the end of season 2, I said, look, I sent them my notice. I said, I'm going to be leaving SRW, going to go venture on to some other things that I wish to go after. And walked away from SRW and started up doing IRWC. Really wanted to build up Infinity Broadcasting more, so we put the time and effort I was putting into SRW into running the Porsche Cup series, running the Rodnock Cups as well, and then doing stuff for my good friend Jim Cunningham over at Motormouth Broadcasting in the mornings now, who I met through working with JP as well. So it's been a long and tenuous 2 years of broadcasting through many different leagues, many different race types. Many different broadcasting companies and many different opportunities as well. Through the highs and through the lows, it's been a fantastic time. It's been a lot of fun, and I think now pretty recently I ticked over my 500th iRacing broadcast, so it's it's been good, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now. It feels like it's back to basics a little bit, back to how I wanted it to be when I started doing vets, how I normally do it as a replay, doing the Porsches, doing the Rodnocks, and then doing that American stuff in the morning as well. It's a really fun time. So it's been fantastic, and any opportunities I can get from now on are just a cherry on top, because I now get time with my partner and I get time to broadcast, and that's all I could ever ask for. It's great.
That's a huge workload then in 2 years to get through. Absolutely.
Yeah. At the most, I was doing 8 broadcasts a week across 7 days. So it was a lot.
That's a big time commitment.
Yeah.
So Infinity Broadcasting itself then's probably been around for the last 2 iRacing seasons. Is that right? Or was it around?
No. So I've been broadcasting as Infinity Broadcasting since I started in vets.
Okay.
But the channel itself really got its focus when I was doing the original IRWC seasons last year of Legends and GT4s, and then we got to this year and we wanted to do Porsches and stuff, and I thought, well, let's revamp the channel. That's this is where I'm going to be broadcasting from now on. This is my stuff, so that's really put a revamp into it. So the last 2 seasons have been when it's been my main focus, and it hasn't just been a channel of where I've put things. It's like that's where you can mainly find me now, is on that channel.
Okay, that's huge. Packets,
Yeah.
what do you make of that type of commitment? Because well, obviously, when you're doing 8 races a week, you're not racing at all, like you've sort of mentioned before, Hamish. But as races, though, having those broadcasts they're epic. They make it so much more worthwhile doing it.
Yeah, it does. And to be honest, because I obviously haven't been racing in the Porsche series they've been running, but it's been actually really good watching that broadcast. I've actually been really enjoying it.
Thank you.
And it's good to have some more Porsche series in Australia, especially broadcasted, because that's kind of sort of like something we've lacked a little bit in Australia, I reckon. It's like, obviously, there's an oversaturation of supercar series, but Porsche not so much. But it's definitely impressive. Especially, I didn't realise that you did a charity one in that as well. That was really good.
Thank you.
You've definitely done a lot more than what I'd actually realised initially.
Well, I don't want to take away the polish of. I was a very small part of that broadcast. Like that broadcast. To preface, that was all James. James made that deal with Jimmy. I was very lucky to have I would have been lucky to even just have an hour as a commentator. I was lucky enough to get
there's a lot involved in that whole thing, There's so much involved in it.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough just to be able to sit there for the day, and I was happy to give up my time because we're doing something for charity. Obviously, it's good exposure as well. But don't take my word of I started this thing. It wasn't anyone out there that might be listening or watching. I didn't make the deal for that broadcast. I was just lucky enough to put my hand up and say, I will help you and I will do a 6-hour portion of it to fill the slots so you can go to sleep and work with some amazing people. Everyone involved on that show, not just Jimmy who was racing, but everyone who commentated with me, the producers of James, I can't remember the other producer now, but there was James and another guy was a producer. They did a top level effort, and it was just a privilege for me to be on there, to be honest with you. And it's it's a day that I remember forever. It's fantastic. So, but yeah, it was a good time.
All right. You might get another gig yet. Might not be the only one. I find it funny, someone especially like Hamish in particular. I feel like I've known Hamish's voice for years. But I didn't have a name to put to it for a long, long time. So that's probably why we don't remember you going back that far or covering as much as what you do. You get synonymous with broadcasters' voices more so than their names.
I mean, it was not even just broadcasters' names. I've gone back to look at old races that I did. I looked back at my old, my first ever Bathurst 1000 attempt that I had. The amount of drivers in there that I know and I've called races for is ridiculous. And I didn't even know it at the time. And it's you look back and you're like, oh my God, I know this person, I know this person. Rankin was in my split for the 1000. And he raced for, which is interesting actually. So that race, it was the 2022 Bathurst 1000. Scott Rankin was racing in Team SRW in that split with me. It was, and then only
a few polo shirts ago for Scotty.
Yeah.
I was just going to say it's one of 30
for him for sure, but and it's just, and then you look back on it, it's you don't even realize because you don't pay attention to it at the time, and then you look back and you're like, wow, look at where we are now and how we can cross paths differently and have been had our paths crossed differently prior to now as well. It's it's incredible and it's interesting in how it can play out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned before, is it Jack Jack
Yeah,
Ends?
Jack. Yeah,
Jack's, that's right.
Yeah.
The Andersons going around. I wasn't sure it was Jack, James, Jimmy. There's a few going around. So you've known him since Forza days. So yeah, I always, especially when it comes to IRWC, like we obviously know you're behind it, but there's a couple other people, like always try and make sure we have a little bit of time to sort of call out the other people that are helping you out in particular, and also maybe what their role is within the league. So is Jack the only one there helping you out? Is there more?
No,
what's he get up to?
There's a couple of us who are admin. So Jack and I are the founders of the league. We created the league together. We're the top end of the decisions go through him and I. Yep. So he was previously doing race control as well. He's now stepping away from race control and just doing admin duties. Obviously, I'm adminning and broadcasting too. And then we have a couple others who are kind of on we'll call it our admin table, who we'll talk with through decisions. We'll get opinions from, and they have an opinion too, and they have a voice too on that in making those decisions as well. Those include, and all of them are our friends and my former teammates, Jack's current teammates. So the likes of Johnny Rowe, who he just does some admin stuff, gives us some opinions, stuff like that. He just helps us come to decisions if we need another eye. There's Kyle Gretsch, who's our chief race steward, at least for last season of Porsches. He stepped up to become that. And then we also get opinions off of guys of Jordan Ferguson and Jack Michelson too, but they're not officially within the admin group itself. They're our opinion points that we will ask of them, whether they think it's appropriate. But yeah, the main two is me and Jack, and then our subsidiaries are Johnny and Kyle. They're the ones that are just below us on the committee.
Okay. So how's that working? Are you looking moving into season 3, like you wanting to expand on the admin, or is that working well for you?
No, it works. It works fairly well for us. I think the one thing that we would love to do eventually is the more series that we get to run is actually delegating admin duties per series to people. So actually, actually saying, look, we're looking for admins for this series. Put your hands up. We'll try and get you involved. You'll have a say in how the leagues run, and that'll be your baby, right? So if we, for example, if we wanted to run a Dark Horse series, and I said, Packets, you want to be an admin, and he puts his hand up to do it, he is then delegated the
dangerous
Dark Horse.
path.
He is then delegated the.
Ask Ricky Provenzali how that worked out over at Premier Endurance League.
He is then allocated the admin duties of Dark Horse, right? And any questions anyone has about Dark Horse goes to Packets. And then if there's anything more they need to ask about, whether it's about the league as a whole or the owners need to actually look at something and review something for a league as a whole decision, then it would go to us, me and Jack, to make those decisions alongside our delegates in Johnny and Kyle as well. So that's something we'd like to do in future. Right now it's working for us, just having the four of us as the main admin, and then Jordan and Jack Michelson as our opinionators, because it means we can come to a decision fairly well. Whether it doesn't suit one person and it suits another, we just want to come to fair decisions, and more voices means we get a better idea of what a fair decision would be. And 9 times out of 10, we come to a unanimous decision fairly quickly on what needs to happen. So it's, we haven't really had any blow-ups or arguments about how it should be ran or how anything should be pushed ahead, which has been great.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, if you do have a Dark Horse series, I don't want to be anywhere near the admin. I want to be driving it.
Well, I mean, there is thoughts now that we have got, obviously, the GT4 Mustang, that Dark Horse would be a great time. I mean, we polled drivers last season of what they would want as another premium series on Wednesdays. They voted for GTE, which has not been getting the sign-ups that we would have hoped for. We've only got 5 people signed up at the moment, which then says to me that, well, okay, you don't want to race GTE. That's fine. Why did you vote for GTE? That's the question that I have to ask you: is why would you vote for it if you weren't going to race it? So, we changed the formats. We were going to close it on Sunday and say, look, we've only got 5. Time of recording, it would have been today that we're recording. Yep. We would have closed it, but we said, look, we're going to shorten the race distances, but in future, if this is a thing that's an issue, voice your opinion. We want to hear from the drivers and get your opinions. There's no point us putting out a series to run if we can't get the opinions of the drivers, of them saying, actually, we don't agree with these races being so long. Can we shorten them? It would work a bit better for me, or it would work a bit better for us. We're happy to do that. We're happy to make those decisions and make those changes. We have a drivers and admin council meeting at the end of each season for a reason, because we want to get the opinions of our drivers, because ultimately it doesn't matter how we want it run. What matters is the opinion of the drivers and if they're having fun or not. And that's always something that we would like to take into consideration, is if they're having fun and they're enjoying their racing. And that's what we want to try and promote, is a fun place to come racing, a place you can learn racing, whether that's Porsche Cup, whether you want to learn oval racing on the Friday, $10 entry, you rock up, you have a bit of fun in a car and a track that you may have never driven before, may have never wanted to driven. The amount of people that have come into ovals for the first time on Fridays and have fallen in love with it has been great this season. And I implore anyone, if you haven't driven something before and there's a league out there that's running something that's within your budget to go racing on a day that you're available, go have a crack. You never know, you might fall in love with it and then have to spend more money on iRacing credits. That's the only thing that's going to hurt is your wallet, not your ego. So, that's what you got to worry about.
Nice. Well, we're progressing very quickly here towards the IRWC and the Porsche Cup in particular, which is what we're excited to talk to you about. But just before we move off your broadcasting packets, I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down here. But did you have a critique for Hamish that you wanted to give him some feedback about something?
Yeah. No, I've actually got something far better than that. I've actually got a bit better than this. But so I've noticed, because I looked into today, so I always sort of thought your voice was very familiar. And then I was like, I've heard his voice before. And then something sort of clicked to me. And I was like, I think he's the guy that used to do SRW. And I went back and watched the broadcast. I'm like, oh, it is him. Yeah. And then it hit me that you've always been very hit and miss with the name of the team that we race with. Yeah, and I'm very sorry about that. I've actually got I've put a series of questions together for you. We're going to play a bit of trivia.
Okay.
And, now,
I had no idea this was coming, by the way.
He's
but I'm liking where it's going.
It's with an absolute buckshot to the head right now.
Now, this is round 1 of 1. So this is the first and final round. The question is, and this is multiple choice, by the way.
Yeah.
What is the name of the team that we drive for?
Yep.
Is it A, Riot Sim Sport, B, Riot Fish Motorsport, C, Riot 59801 Sim, or D, Riot Sim Racing?
Riot Sim Racing.
Got it.
Yeah. Got it now.
Yeah. I know that last season the most one that I get mixed up is Riot Sim Sports, which start playing. Play some I don't know, competitive games out there other than iRacing, then it's an appropriate name,
Yeah.
Start playing competitive Battlefield when it comes out.
If we weren't such cave dwellers, we could get out there and do other things. It'd be a very appropriate name.
Yeah, but no, it's a good point that you bring up. It's something that I try and pride myself on, is at least pronouncing drivers' names correctly, because one thing that would infuriate me is if I had a name that's bloody easy to remember, is if it was mispronounced all the time. So I always call for people, if I say your team name wrong, correct me, because I wish to say it correctly, please. So I appreciate it when people do correct me on it.
That's the double whammy with us, because I don't know how many times we've heard Stefan Lawrence being called Step Van Lawson or
good old Step Van Lawson.
That was so fun. I remember when he joined our team, like no one could ever, like doesn't matter what league he raced in, the broadcaster, no matter who it was, they could never get his name right.
Yeah, good old Step Van.
Well, now it's an effort to say his name correctly because we're so used to calling him Step Van.
He never knew his real van. He only knew his Step Van. So.
Oh dear, very good. No, it's been going for that long that you were calling us Right Sim Sport that we were almost getting used to it. I think at one point.
Put it into the universe enough, eventually it comes about. So maybe I'm just putting it out there for you, but no, I know that I was corrected in the chat by someone who hid behind the channel name of Riot Sim Racing. So whoever that was. No, they're courses backwards. But no, it was good. It was, I'm glad you did correct me, because at least then I know now that it is Riot Sim Racing, and I can only call it Riot Sim Racing. Maybe I'll sneak it in there just for you though, Packets, and just say Riot Sim Sports, just as a little shout out and a nod to you for watching along. So
it is perfect because we've got the Riot Sim Racing account on YouTube. We've also got the Sim Racing in Focus account, and I'm pretty sure most people have us around the wrong way, where they think I'm commenting as Riot, even though I'm in the race, and then Packets is commenting as Sim Racing in Focus.
Yeah, you're just texting and driving at that point. That's
it. That's it. I can't multitask, so it's definitely not me, but that's perfect. All right, well, let's get into, I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot here, Hamish, but I don't know whether you can give us a little summation of basically the season that's just finished with IRWC Porsche Cup, VRS Porsche Cup.
Yep.
Maybe actually before we get into that, talk a little bit about the partnership with VRS and how that come about.
Well, to give you the simple answer, I knew we were organising the Porsches. I sent emails out to a heap of different companies asking, can you help support us? And we'll put your name as the title sponsor. VRS was the one to respond. They said I messaged at the right time because they were in that period of time actually taking applications for sponsorship, whether it was for teams or for series. So I actually just kind of lucked into it at the very right time to get in contact with them. So I filled out the form. They approved for the league to be one of the partners of the year. Had to sign an NDA of what we can and can't do and how we have to present VRS, which is completely fine. Of course, they have their things, and they laid it out on the table what we could give out to people, which I do need to send an email to them because apparently some people's prizes haven't turned up properly. So we'll try and sort that out as soon as we can with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just, I just sent them an email. They responded. Joe Bricky, who formerly worked there, responded. Now he's actually left VRS. We got involved. We signed the contract, and we got to round one as the VRS Porsche Cup series, which was, I think, a great thing. Honestly, I think they actually played a big part in getting our name out there and actually marketing it to people. I think it really put some shine on the name to have a notable company like VRS alongside us. That really did a lot to help us to start out with.
Absolutely. I mean, Packets and I have talked quite a lot about trying to get a Porsche Cup league since AOG finished up, Australian Online Gaming Series, trying to get a Porsche Cup series that aims to be as competitive as it possibly can be. Yeah. Having a VRS as a title sponsor almost leads that, as it almost puts it into that caliber straight away. It feels like your league's getting backed in by, there's no more bigger sim racing or iRacing company that's not iRacing than I guess VRS, and that's certainly how it come across to me. I'm like, all right, here we go. We do the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Porsche Cups a lot, but that is high participation with a big field spread.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of field spread in VRS too, but yeah, it's like, okay, now we're getting some traction here with a league that's can be dedicated to this car.
Yeah. And that's the focus we wanted to put into it, was because the one, through my time with SRW and through Jack's time of racing in other leagues as well, the biggest hole that was left in the iRacing community was when AOG went away and there was no regular Porsche Cup series for majority of the year. Of course, they obviously ran in the last half of the year. First half of the year, there was none. And it was a big hole that was filled. It's, I knew it was a popular car. Jack did as well. We rallied for a long time to try and get it into SRW. But unfortunately, time didn't really allow it at that point. So it's like, okay, let's just back ourselves and go do it ourselves. We believed in it. We believed that running it on a Monday, Monday is always a tough day to run a series. Monday and Friday are the quintessential worst days to run a league, because on Friday people want to go out, or they just can't be bothered, or they just want to go and do an official. They just want to have fun because it's Friday. They want to just end their week on a high. They don't want to be putting too much focus into a serious race series. Monday's hard because it's the start of the work week and people are tired after work. They don't want to go, necessarily want to go racing all the time. So they're two very difficult days and markets to break into. We didn't want to race on Thursday, mainly because we'd be going head-to-head with GSRC, and we didn't want to limit not only our potential of having drivers race for us, we didn't want to limit theirs either. We wanted to make it so you could reasonably race in both series within the same week, and have practice in between as well. We also didn't do it on a Thursday because Thursdays are always locked out for me for vets. I never do anything on a Thursday other than vets. So it was always a no-go. We didn't want to try and go head-to-head with GSRC and SRW on a Wednesday. We didn't want to go head-to-head with ASR, SRW, and possibly AOG on a Tuesday if AOG was ever going to come back. So we thought the best day we could do it would be a Monday, because if AOG comes back, we can run the same track as them the day before, and drivers can get a race practice in before AOG the day after to, similarly to how some leagues now run officials, so then vets drivers or pro series or Scops drivers can get a race practice in the week before their race. That was the mentality of it. And we thought, this is such a popular car. There is for my memory, and I literally think before we started, the only main league that ran the Porsche Cup was GSRC.
Yep.
They were the only league that ran it. And it blew my mind that they were the only league that ran it. It's like the fact that SRW didn't run it, I was very surprised at. They'd previously run it before. The fact that Apex didn't run it, the fact that AOG was probably, only ran for half the year, it surprised me so much. So it was a no-brainer to be the first of our leagues to run and the main league to be run, our main premium series. We wanted it to be fun. We wanted it to be different. And we wanted it to promote Porsche Cup racing, but close racing as well. That was the mentality behind our formats. We wanted it slightly different in our formatting. We wanted something that was unique to us. And we wanted it where drivers could come on the night and just have a ball of fun, whether they had a bad race or they had a great race. And that's what we wanted.
Packets, you're a neutral. I drive in the series and I love it, but how's it coming across as a viewer?
Yeah, it's good because, I love the Cup car myself, and I think, we've said a lot of times too in the past that, there's just not enough coverage for the Porsche Cup in Australia. Like I said before, we're so saturated with supercars that, you usually only have sort of, Gentleman Sim Racing that'll do the Porsche Cup, but they won't do it every season. So sometimes you'll go a full season where there's just no Porsche Cup in any league. And it was pretty consistent that would happen. Especially now too, with the pace of some of the drivers at the front in this series and that as well, that makes it even better. It's definitely something that is well structured to grow on, I think, and it's good. I think it's a really good thing.
Well, one thing I think as well, Packets, is, and it's another thing why it astounds me why it's not as massively run in Australia. Porsche Cup is one of the main support categories in Australia for Australian motorsport. It is one of the biggest support categories we have in Australia. Yeah. Outside of, second and third tier supercars, it alongside the GR86s is one of the most popular support categories in Australia for motorsport here. And it astounds me that it is not run more than it is. It's a great. It is a difficult car to drive. Don't get me wrong, it's a fun car to drive, and it's a challenge, And if someone thinks, if they want to come racing with us and they think that I'm not going to be good enough to challenge guys at the front like Job Stewart or Corey Lazarus, that was one of the biggest takeaways this past season was of how fast our drivers are at the front of the field. We want to try and give something to those guys and girls in the mid-pack or at the back of the field, something to fight for. So we're introducing driver classes this upcoming season to try and give them something to fight for and give them a race to have, So, come racing with us. We've got a great season coming up. Come and race with us on IRWC.
So a couple of things to take away. So how are registrations looking for next season?
They're not too bad, actually. So relatively speaking, the sign-ups for the Porsches is actually going pretty well for this point in time of the sign-ups. So we've currently got 29 signed up for next season. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but we're not racing until the 22nd of September for round one. So we've still got a good 3 weeks until we go racing. Yeah. We've also got to remember as well, we came into the start of last season, I believe it was the Friday before, we went from 25 sign-ups to 50 with 5 on the wait list as well.
Yeah.
So we boomed.
Hours.
Yeah, we boomed in a few days. And that was big thanks to our drivers spreading it around and getting it out there and sharing the league to people as well. But we boomed, and it wasn't just any run-of-the-mill drivers as well. Like, we had some big names coming in. A lot of ERT drivers, Job Stewart, who I said, Hayden Veld, Matt Bowler, Sam Muir came in after round one. He's a very quick guy. Some big names came in and were competitive from the start. I know what Corey said last time he was here. He said, no offense to the drivers that have been taken up a level. It really just had. Like, we went from something that was maybe a second split in the officials to a top split level series. Within a season, and some of the signups we've had thus far. There's a lot of repeats of drivers who raced last season. We've had no ERT sign up yet. If we do get them sign up, that'd be great. We'd love to have them back. They raced very, very well. But, one of the newer drivers that stood out to me is Rick Kunetskov of 95 Sim Sports. I think he's going to be, someone really cool for those guys to race against. Byron Phillips as well of Eclipse, I think is really cool as well. So, there's,
some high caliber guys.
And, of course, of Riot Sim Racing, Barry Punter as well, who has the greatest name in the history of sim racing. So
the most appropriate name for our team in the
what a name!
What a
name!
That is the only reason we sent him a team invite, by the way.
I respect it. Honestly, I respect it. That's a fantastic name. So we've got 29 at the moment with 3 weeks until round one. So we've still got time to fill up the signups. We only need 21 more to get to capacity of 50, and then any others that sign up go on the wait list.
There'll be 30% of your drivers will come in the last 72 hours.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, what do you got? You got 29, 25 of them are probably right cars.
Can we rattle the tin anymore?
It's quite ironic. We came out of season one expecting it to be filled with 9.5 cars, and then it was actually filled with ERT and Riot cars last season, and it was the 9.5 cars signed up, but only a handful of them actually raced. So,
I'll tell you what, I was intrigued to maybe sign up because I'm about to go on to my next roster swing where I've got Monday nights available for about 3 months.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put a 30th right car on the grid.
Get in there.
I'll tell you what, Packets. Why don't you just sign up under like a pseudo team name? Just like
maybe it's time I bust out the Sim Racing and Focus livery again.
Yeah, get the Sim Racing and Focus on the grid.
We could make you the black sheep of our team, which is you'd probably be the white sheep because most of us are black, tarnished with our history, checkered history. No, look, it was early doors. Yeah, you were saying before you had some drivers put the word out. That's how we sort of got into the league. I think Corey was spreading the word that there was a league starting up on a Monday night. So initially,
Yeah, that's right.
Initially, we
Remember that.
weren't going to sign up because we thought, I think we're a bit out of our depth here. Like, we won't do this. And then, I mean, you know, not to make it a whole lot about our team, but yeah, we went from strength to strength across the course of the season. So we enjoyed a really strong season. Sorry, in this particular league for sure.
I stand by my statement that I made at Belle Isle that Stefan and Ben are going to be probably the strongest duo combination at the top end of your team to lead your team into next season. They are going to be one of the strongest combinations any team could put forward as two leading drivers. Obviously, Alan's up there as well, I think. But I think Stefan probably proved he's just that little bit better in the few rounds that he did at the end. And then, I mean, Ben's a freak. I mean, I don't even need to tell you how good Ben is. He's just ridiculous. So,
he's devoted to the car. So,
yeah.
Just for Step Van's benefit, can you repeat what you said about Step Van and Alan?
I said Stefan, I think, is maybe just a level above Alan a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're actually step brothers.
Are they actually?
Yeah, so you've just weighed in on a very controversial topic there.
Fine. Stefan wins.
Step Van's the younger brother too, so that's not going to sit well.
Just based on what I saw in the rounds that Stefan did, he impressed me a little bit more than what Alan did, but maybe Alan's just a bit more invisible. Maybe I just don't notice him as much. He's just a little sneaky assassin out there who steals positions every now and again. But
Stefan's still at home right now, walking around in circles, telling himself that he's slow.
He can keep telling himself that. He can keep claiming he's a Toyota Hiace, but we know he's a Porsche Cayenne at this point.
Yeah.
So.
He will literally rock up. He'll out-qualify us, and he goes, "Oh, I'm so slow. What are you talking about? You're quicker than all of us."
Yes, that's very good. But where were we going there? Yeah. So let's go back to, if you can remember, give us just a quick summary from last season. So your sort of thoughts around, I guess, couple of the key drivers for the year, and then who ended up taking it out.
Well, what quickly at the start of the season seemed to be our main contenders was going to be Job Stewart, Sam Muir, and Simon Mazzomo. They were really showing to be our main contenders. Unfortunately, Job missed a round for Supercars duties for Super 2, and then he didn't really ever come back, which is a shame because, he's a really nice kid, and, big congrats to him on possibly getting that Erebus seat next year. He really deserves it. So then it became a 2-horse race between Sam, who had missed the first round and had to actually race about as perfect as possible if he wanted to win the title round 2 onwards because he'd already used his drop round. And then Simon as well, who obviously Mez had won season 1, so he was the defending champion. He'd beaten the likes of Corey Lazarus and Ben Pedersen to the title by literally being the tortoise against the hare. He just consistency personified. He was just Mr. Consistent in season 1. That's what won him the championship more than anything. Didn't get a single penalty against his name, never took a single win, but won the title by pure consistency. This season, he was Mr. Consistent again. Unfortunately, the one round that he took a race win was his drop round because it was his worst round to that date. So even though he took a race win at Bathurst, it was actually his worst round. So he didn't really get the benefits of winning a race this season.
That was a rush round, which was a 3-race sprint, hence why. Yeah. Just to put that into context.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll go through the format soon. I know it's been spoken about before with Corey on here about those rush rounds. But yeah, so, that was, and the rush rounds often are not the first rush round of the season is normally the majority of the field's drop round because it's a low scoring, tough race to really earn points in how the format's actually set up. But yeah, so, and unfortunately for Mez, consistency wasn't good enough in the end because Sam didn't let off the gas all season. He had a very consistent run all season and he got himself into some controversy in the second to last round with some of his tactics. But besides those tactics and besides what he did, it wasn't against the rules. And he went on to win the championship. He went on to win by quite a significant margin because unfortunately Mez made a mistake in the last round. Last round is undroppable. So because it's undroppable, he unfortunately lost the championship and then went to Sam. So, yeah, our main contenders were... well, actually, no, I also forgot an important name, actually. Colby Warren as well, an American, who...
Very quick.
Yeah, who... I know Corey spoke to you last time about his N24 efforts. Colby actually came out of that car that he stepped into to race. That was how he knew Colby, and that's how Colby came to race with us. So Colby was actually one of Corey Lazarus's teammates from the N24. So he was a quick boy. Unfortunately, he struggled in a few rounds, and that kind of took him out of the piece a little bit. And then, surprising to himself, Alan Dawson was actually a contender at some point in that season.
Not going to win.
No, apparently not, according to my co-commentator Brent O'Brien. and to Alan's credit, he didn't even claim himself as a contender at that point. He didn't even realise. So
no,
but
he's just the epitome of head down, bum up. He wasn't even paying attention to the standings. I think if he had of, he might have capitulated earlier.
Very well might have. And for the whole season we had, for majority of the season we had Ben Pedersen as well, but he missed a few rounds. We had Matt Bowler, Hayden Veld, Lachlan Capel, all those guys. Very, very quick drivers, of course. They weren't there every single week, and that cost them in the end. It paid off for Sam more so than it did Mez. Obviously, this season he won the title. He'll come into next season probably with the number 1 on his car and try and defend it in what's a very exciting season for us. New opportunities, an extra race, as well as a slight change of the rules too, which should open it up a little bit more to drivers to hopefully have a bit more fun on the night.
I had actually forgotten that Matty Bowler actually won the lowrider championship.
He did out of Belle Isle. He did indeed. That was a very, very good edit. I think you actually made that
very quick too.
Yeah.
No, I did not make that. I just simply shared it because Packets isn't in our isn't in the VRS Discord. So
Packets. That's why you should get in.
The race is finished.
Well,
I just want to preface that anytime I share a video, it is not my work. There's cleared. I am not at that. Jacob. Packets is the Corey Lazarus of meme videos.
I reckon Packets needs to get into the Discord so he can be on hand, ready to make the memes for the post-race banter in that open chat.
You got to get it. You can give him the admin role, and then he'll just meme everything.
Yeah, I know. Like, what is this channel layout in this server? Let's change it.
He had that video finished before I even hit the toe button on the last lap or the end of the race. Like, it was already waiting in Discord, and it was like it was a 5 lap to go. The incident happened with 5 laps to go. It's like, how does he think of these things? So,
he had low riders on the line.
Yeah,
my brain's a little bit cooked.
Yeah. Anyway, people aren't going to know what we're talking about, so we're going to have to put that video up on Sim Racing Focus.
You'll have to play it at the end of the podcast, I reckon, for the context. Yeah. Might get a copyright strike, but it'll be worth it, I reckon.
Yeah, Packets will take me to court. Oh, that's awesome. Very good. Okay, so we had Sam Muir obviously win season 2, and he finished the season as a privateer as well, but I believe now he's joined the 9.5 stable. I think we noticed on last Thursday night on GSRC.
That's the first I've heard of that, but that's big news. You just give me all the inside sources now.
Yeah. It's only because we've seen him on track on Thursday night donning the black and purple of...
Well, I suppose that there is... as good a friend as I am with some of those drivers from 9.5, that's the most 9.5 thing to do. If you can't beat them, steal them. They got Scott Gamble a while ago. They got Sean Vandermeulen. Gamble obviously left to go back to ERT, but McNamara's a nice guy. Mez is a great guy as well, So if Sam's joined that team, I'm sorry, but Ben Pedersen and Stefan Lawrence ain't going to be good enough because all of a sudden those two are now going to be the hot favourite for next season, I'd say, Dean.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness, Packets. We're going to have to change some Discord names around.
You have to rename Step Van to Sam Muir, now racing for Riot Sim Racing.
Sam Muir Jr.
Yeah, Sam Muir Jr. but honestly, if he's racing there, I think that's a tantalizing prospect, honestly, to see those guys work together as teammates, but also battle against, obviously, you guys with Ben and Stefan up the front and Alan as well. I think the really interesting thing now that's actually going to come out of this is how we can actually sell next season on the broadcast of, well, Pedersen's come from being a privateer to now being in a team. Muir's come from previously being in a team with no teammates to being a privateer to now in 9-5 Sim Sports, being a teammate of his championship rival the season prior. It's a very interesting storyline that could play out in front of us for next season. And I think that, drivers who are out there who may be watching or listening, thinking about coming and racing with us, it's $30 a season to come race in the Porsche Cup. I know it's a lot and it's just gone up to $30. It's not going to be moving from $30. That money literally just helps us cover everything in the league because we're not getting any money from VRS. We only get the prizes we can hand out. So we actually have to self-fund ourselves. So that covers our RC, our broadcast, our sessions, everything. That money goes back into the league to help support the league and make the league as good as it possibly can be. So it's
important. It's important to know, especially when you're trying to give, make the most. When you're trying to compete with some bigger leagues out there that have a bit of backing and are able to put on a high quality product, and you want yours to be the same. But it's also good to give the context of where it's going.
Yeah,
there's been dramas with other leagues in the past that have done it, and then the league collapses halfway through the season. But as long as people know that it's going into X, Y, and Z bucket, then. And they can see what their money's doing, and then most importantly, the whole league continues on the upward trajectory, which it has been.
Yeah.
Then I think everyone gets behind it. So, and it's also going to get rid of anyone that's is not serious about it.
No, that's right, and we understand that people have lives and. They're not maybe able to commit to every single race, and that's totally fine. You're welcome to sign up and come racing with us as well. The only thing that we ever ask is you let us know you're not going to be racing. Because if you let us know, we can at least give you a spot on the night to a person off the wait list who can come racing with us. And then whenever you're coming back, you can just take your spot back. And we've put a system in place now where all drivers have to do is react to a message we put out in Discord by midnight the night before, saying to us, are you going to be racing or aren't you going to be racing? So we have the day, like the 12 hours or whatever it is since we wake up prior to the start of the race to say, hey, do you want to come race with us tonight? This person can't be here. So, that's the only thing we ever ask is people let us know when they can't race, and when they can, rock up and race. That's all. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. So there you go, Packets. Get in there.
Yeah.
Enjoy the grid. No. All right. So we're looking forward then to this coming season. What have we got in store round-wise and race format-wise?
So we're still running our same formats that we ran this season. The feature format, which was 60 minutes. So one race, 60 minutes. Sprint format, 20 minutes, and a 20-minute sprint, 40-minute heat. And then our rush format as well, which has become our bread and butter, which is 2 15-minute sprints and a 30-minute feature. Previously, the 15-minute sprints only offered points for the top half of the field. We've now changed that. Every position will get points in those rush races. We are still discussing whether we're going to keep the full reverse grid or not for the 15-minute race, for the second 15-minute race. Currently, it runs qualifying, gets you grid position for race 1. Race 2 is a full reverse grid based on the results of race 1. And then race 3 is a top 10 to 15 reverse, I think. I can't remember now. It's like top 10 reverse or something like that for race 3. The contemplation we're having is changing the full reverse grid to be for the 30-minute race and having the top 10 invert for the second 15-minute race, because what's happening is we're getting those fast drivers at the back who are a little bit impatient sometimes, wanting to force their way forward, there was the whole reason why we did it. I like chaos, Dean, and I deliberately made it that way. I love it. It's a great time. Unfortunately, it's not a great time for all the drivers out there as well. So, you know, we're getting to the decision of do we keep it on the 15-minute race or do we move it to the 30? At this stage, likely it's going to go to the 30-minute race, because obviously the fast boys who are at the back will have time to make their way forward and get there through pit stops or strategy, and they don't have to necessarily rush too hard to get forward in the race. So that's the biggest change that's going into next season. Points have been restructured just slightly to be rebalanced better, to then suit the rush round a little bit more. It's a very minor change on the points balancing, but it's something that I think we're continuing to develop, because we want to continue to develop the league so we don't get into the trap of getting comfortable, because when you get comfortable, you get lazy. And when you get lazy, your product gets worse. So we want to continue to try and improve it every single season and really fine-tune it to the point that we can run it as perfect as possible every single week, every single round, every single season. That's what we want.
The rush rounds obviously make the best content for packets as well.
Yeah.
If you maybe to get his memes.
Yeah. And then the fourth round is our finale round, which is the 2 30-minute feature races, which is only used for the final round of the season. We've got 11 rounds next season, because one of which we're running on a Saturday as part of the Pro Series finale weekend. We're one of the official support categories for that weekend at Bathurst. So we're running at Laguna Seca, Homestead Miami Road Course, Chicago Street Circuit, Road America, Montreal, Alton Park, Zandvoort, Algarve, Imola, Bathurst, and then finishing up at Belle Isle again, which is our finale round. We always end at Belle Isle. When Adelaide releases, Adelaide will go in Belle Isle's place, and that will forever stay as our finale race.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds just as chaotic. Yeah, they're similar in some regards, aren't they? Yeah. I've got one more question for you. I reckon we're going through to an hour and 40. That's good. We could go for another hour and 40.
I did say that this will steamroll out of control if you're not careful. So
it's more on this. My question's more on this this Saturday round.
Yeah.
So we're going as a support category to the Logitech G Pro Invitational Series.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Just how did that come about first and foremost?
So how that came about was Mr. Bretton O'Brien, who is now my co-commentator on the Porsche Cup series, is the admin of the Pro Series of both the Logitech G Pro Invitational Supercar Series and the Gamesman Pro Invitational GT Series. He's the admin and founder. They were looking for a support category. He put the offer to me and said, "Hey, if you want, we can give you a time slot on the Saturday. You can get everyone out there and racing and show off the Porsche Cup and use it as a bit more exposure." And I said, of course we're going to be there. And then we had to decide, well, how are we going to entice drivers to race in it? Because, you know, if you just say, look, we're going to be a support category, this race is not worth anything, we may not get as many people show up to race.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it, especially because it's on a different day. It's on a Saturday. So to work around that, we've made it a championship round. And we made it a pretty crucial championship round because it's the second last round. So to counter that, and this will be the same going forward, whether we run 10 rounds or 11, we've got 2 drop rounds this season because we didn't want to force drivers to use that round as their drop round. But we wanted to say, look, if you really can't make it, you will at least have this in your back pocket. So you need your other races to be perfect if you can't make it. Otherwise, rock up and race.
Yeah.
So we've got an hour time slot for the broadcast for that one. More than likely, it's going to be a rush round because that is, again, that's our specific format. No one else runs that format. I know that, 60 minutes and 20 and 40s are run by other series out there, but the rush is as close as we can create to an actual Porsche Cup weekend condensed down to a 1 hour time slot.
Yeah.
So, I think it's what represents us. It's the one that I have the most fun with calling every single time we go racing in the rush round. And this season at Bathurst in the rush round, it was chaos. Next time, it's probably going to be just as chaotic, but it will be interesting to see how it works out with that adjusted grid formatting with the full reverse being the 30-minute instead of the 15-minute. I think it'll actually work a lot better at Bathurst this time and provide some really fantastic racing for us on that Pro Series finale weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well, they'll have a bit of a cleanup job on their hands afterwards, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that might be an expensive bill for me to pay for that cleanup. So, yeah,
very good. Okay, so obviously we noted Brenton popped up on the broadcast this year, and one of the things we were discussing on a previous podcast was, our own opinions on whether they went the right direction with the GT3 as the second series. I know it's a safe call to go to the GT3, but we were sort of like, I wonder if they've got any inclinations of perhaps bringing a Porsche Cup series up in that regards as well. But there's I'm glad they're getting behind the VRS series, or your series more specifically, and it'd be interesting to see how that relationship and that sort of partnership grows there in particular.
I mean, we would love to continue to grow this partnership more and more. I think the best possible future outcome for it is that we can eventually move to multiple splits, and the top split would become the VRS Porsche Pro Cup series. And, that would be the, not that it would be the replacement for AOG, but the step in for AOG of where sweaty Porsche Cup drivers go racing on a Monday night and cover the track in perspiration. And
because I think, just to elaborate just on that very specific point before you move on, I think that might be your challenge in the short term is those top level. It's not that Sam Muir and Ben Pedersen and Mazzomo and that aren't top level drivers, but then you've got the likes of Corey and even Colby to a degree that are just striving for that little bit higher, and whether they keeping value in it for them to stick around might be the challenge.
Yeah, and that's obviously the tough thing. We can only we want to try and be inclusive to everybody, and IRWC is a safe place for anybody to come racing, no matter what your background is, no matter who you are, whether you're whether you're white, black, multicultural, whether you're whether you're queer, trans, straight, whatever it is, whoever you identify as, IWC is a safe place for you to come racing. It's a fun place for you to come racing, and we accept anyone to come in, unless you're already on the ban list. That's the only caveat, is unless we've already previously said you're not welcome here, then anyone is welcome to come racing with us. And we want to give an opportunity to everyone to race that Porsche Cup car. We want to give the opportunity to anyone to race in stock cars, in GTs, in whatever it is that we're going to be running. We want to be able to open the opportunity up to anyone to come racing with us. And that's what we want to be able to promote. And, the main reason that I'd love for multiple splits in Porsches is we can have a skill level on each split. So there's a split for everyone to go racing. There's that pro split where the pro drivers come in, they pre-qualify to get in. It is the top level Porsche Cup driving in Australia. Then you've got your second tier, which is your more semi-casual, maybe you're, not to call anyone out, maybe your Alan Dawsons, maybe your Ellie Gardners, those drivers who if we run classes of last season's list, both Alan and Ellie would probably be in the pro class just based on their pace alone, but they may not be a pro series level just yet.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that would be what that feeling is. And then we'd obviously have our developmental class at the bottom where you might send the drivers who are more new to the car or new to iRacing
me.
to go race. We just want it to be a fun place to go racing in, and it's as disappointing as it is for GTEs to not have the sign-ups it's getting or that we were hoping for. If it doesn't run, it doesn't run, and that's fine. We've heard our drivers loud and clear. We don't want to run that. That's okay. We'll have a season off for Wednesdays. We'll think of someone else to go racing in. More than likely, if that doesn't run, we're going to put it out there to them of the choice of Ferrari Challenge or Dark Horse Challenge, because we're a very basic bunch. We like one makes apparently. So Porsche Cups, Dark Horse, Ferrari Challenge is right up our alley. So, but yeah,
good way to go.
Yeah,
popularity's there.
Yeah, and Porsche Cup's been spectacular as well. It's been so fun, and we want to continue letting it grow, and we want to be able to grow the league as best we can too. It's been a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of characters in there. There's someone for everyone to have a chat with and become friends with, and go racing on a Monday and having a good time.
Very good. Packets, I'm going to throw it over to you for any final words before we wrap this one up. Perhaps you might want to ask about whether there's a meme league or meme split coming in that you can get involved in. But yeah, mate, how about any last questions for Hamish before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, where do I sign up?
You sign up in the iRacing World Challenge Discord server. I'm going to call it now that there'll be a direct permalink in the video description of this stream, I would assume, Dean?
Yeah, you can get that in there, no dramas whatsoever.
Cool. So you can sign up in our Discord. You can also find us at iRacing World Challenge on our Facebook page as well. We've put up some links there too where you can sign up as well. We also post in iRacing Australia and iRacing Down Under as well. And if you want to watch any of the broadcasts for iRacing World Challenge or the V8 Veterans, you can see me at Infinity Broadcasting. If you want to see any of my international stuff I'm currently doing, you can see me at Motormouth Broadcasting as well in the mornings. That's where you can find me. It's where you can sign up for the league. I'm the bucket of info pretty much. So you find me somewhere, you ask me the question, I'll tell you the answer for it. So yeah.
All right. Who's winning next season?
Oh, okay. If we look at the current drivers list.
No. Off the top of the head. Off the top of the head.
Not Alan.
Okay, I'm gonna preface it with two reasonings. And my preface is, if Pedersen gets a full season, Pedersen. If he doesn't, I think Sam will go back to back.
Packets, who's your money on?
I would. Surely with the 37 right cars on grid block, one of our guys is going to win.
No, they're going to take points from each other. It's like the Brownlow.
Yeah. I don't know. Ben is probably the strongest one, but you never know. Like, if Stepvan keeps up the pace that he has and stays consistent, then he could also win it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going Ben.
Being biased, but
I'm full bias. I'm going Ben.
Yeah.
Since he's joined our team, he's been locked in, and if he's locked in, I think he's got the quality speed that's going to be all the difference for next season. Obviously, the two wild cards are the Eclipse Sim Sports driver and Rick Kuznetsov, who are very quick in their own respective cars that they tend to normally drive. I'm sure that'll translate. It's just how they'll be up there somewhere. It's just Benny's really locked in on this car. So since he's joined us, I think he's had about 9 races and he's won 7. Or 6 or 7. So he's got a decent conversion rate. Not that we've given him anything to improve his driving.
Why the hell did he even join you then? I mean, what was the point?
Yeah, he's just he just thinks we're good blokes. So
He
that's all
joined for the packets factor, didn't he? He saw that meme and he's like, I'm going to join these
Literally.
boys.
Literally,
That's
that's
not
why
all
he
that
joined.
far off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So, all right, very good. So we got packets on the fence. Hamish, you're going. Sam, I'm going. Ben Pedersen.
Yeah. If Pedersen gets a full season, it's Pedersen. If he doesn't, it's Sam. Especially in 9.5 colours now.
Yeah, we expect him to go to another level, but
Yeah.
that will do us tonight. We've nearly hit the 2-hour mark, so that is a huge podcast. Hamish, thank you so much once again for joining. I knew we would have no problems whatsoever talking about anything tonight, so we've certainly made a good one. Yeah, I think you managed to get your shout outs in there, but if there is anyone else that you want to shout out, mate, be my guest. Go right ahead.
Pretty much as I said, I mean, just if you want to find me for local Australian broadcasting time zones, you can find me at Infinity Broadcasting on YouTube and Twitch. If you want to see me internationally in the mornings shifts, you can find me at Motor Mouth Broadcasting. Me and our good friend Jim Cunningham, work together there. If you want to join the league, head over to the iRacing World Challenge Discord server. It'll be linked in the description below. For whatever reason you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at HMInjexion. That's at HM_INJEXION, where you can catch up with my adventures of going to concerts and music festivals and pretty much any of my adventures that I take my missus on. That's where you'll find it.
Getting job offers in the middle of concerts.
Yeah, I know.
Very good. Awesome stuff. That's fantastic. We can link some of those pages in below. No dramas whatsoever. Packets, thanks once again for jumping in. We'll catch you again in the next one. Listeners, by all means, head over to Facebook. You can find us on Sim Racing in Focus at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and naturally the podcast goes out to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So we're going around a lot of different places now. Make sure you get over to Infinity Broadcast. Also give them a like and subscribe, and also grow that Facebook page as well, where you'll catch all of the next season's Porsche Cup. And you don't want to miss any of the action. So thanks once again for tuning back in. This has been episode number 24 of the Sim Racing in Focus podcast, and it's going to be bye for now.